The average African consumer does not want to be sold at. They want to see themselves in your brand story. You see, there's a specific context and psychology to selling to Africans in Africa. And this is because there are some unique problems that Africans have that require tailored solutions, bespoke solutions, as it were. And because of these unique problems, more than ever before, Africans require for brands and businesses to create solutions in form of products and services that act as tailored solutions for their very peculiar problems. To understand this context is to reshape our entire brand strategy, marketing strategy, go-to-market strategy, and even brand positioning altogether. Here's the plain truth. If your African target audience cannot associate your brand with a particular relief that it provides them, you're most likely marketing for yourself. You're most likely running those campaigns for your own self, especially when you're not a household brand. Just think about it for a second. Think about all the brands that have succeeded in Africa over the last decade. When you think of them, you can almost immediately associate them with the peculiar problem that they solve. And the more brands you can put in this category, the more successful they tend to be. What does this mean for us as digital media professionals and marketers? What it means is that we need to cut a lot of dead weight off. This would mean, but not restricted to, direct messaging. Let our copies be more relatable. Let the average Nigerian or Ghanaian or Botswanan look at your copy and see themselves, see their problems, and see that you have the solutions to those problems. We need to stop communicating in a way that doesn't reflect that we fully understand the pain points of the people we're selling to. It would mean more relatable creatives, more relatable designs, okay? Not something abstract, not ego-driven designs and creatives. Something that tells their story, something that they see a bit of themselves in. Because I've said this a couple of times, Africans are no longer going to be sold at. They want to feel like they're part of the story that your brand is telling. This is going to be one of the major shifts that marketing will see and even advertising will see in the next decade. We have to be a bit more intentional in the way we communicate those bespoke solutions to the people that need them the most in our continent. It will also require that we develop relevant products and services. There's nothing that screams out of touch more than developing a product or a service that is not aligned with what people are readily looking for. We need to minimize being out of touch of the African reality and ego-driven campaigns, brand positionings, and communications. Again, I want to reiterate this. The average African consumer does not want to be sold at. They want to see themselves in your brand story. They want to feel like your brand thought about them whilst developing that product or service. Again, this is going to be the major turning point for marketing and how brands grow in the continent over the next decade. And this leads me to my very next point. And this is for African digital media and marketing leaders. Look, I know it's not news that Africa is going to be the youngest continent come 2030. And we're going to have almost 1 billion internet users over the next decade. And I'm sure we all know what these numbers mean. Wherever numbers are, attention concentrates. And we all know how much of a business opportunity magnet attention has become, especially in this digital age. Let's think about this critically for a second. What does this attention mean for Africa over the next decade? For one, it means that we're going to attract a lot of consumer-based brands and businesses who create consumer-based products and services. What would be a big shame is that these companies come into Africa, or for some of them who are already here, they're looking to expand their operations across the continent, and they have a better understanding of our market than us. More than ever before, we must position ourselves to be able to guide and enlighten these brands looking to sell to our people. We need to prove that we understand our people. We understand the pain points of our market better than they do. Because I'm a huge believer that African stories must remain told by Africans. Again, because of the lived experience. It's a cultural thing. And so if we lose that cultural touch, we're inviting people who do not have our context to potentially come in and understand our market better than we do. Wouldn't it be really disappointing that outsiders understand and hack our markets better than us? And here's the thing, as leaders who have spent more than 10, 15, 20 years in the industry, we're better positioned to steer ships, to make tough calls, to reshape campaigns, and to realign and guide clients. Our experience and the number of years that we've spent growing businesses and brands buys us the credibility needed to effect some of these changes. It also puts us in a very unique position to be able to make those calls. Mid-level and lower-level professionals might not have that kind of power and that kind of say in board meetings and in strategy meetings, but we do. A lot of these brands will be looking to us to steer them in the right direction. Please, I want us to take this as our wake-up call. We need to be a bit more involved in how our stories, our brand stories, will be told over the next decade. I know that a lot of us have achieved great things over the course of our careers, but we must never lose that enthusiasm that spurred us to the amazing heights that we've now gotten to in our careers. We need to keep that childlike enthusiasm, that childlike imagination alive. It shouldn't be said that outsiders come into Africa and they have a better understanding of our market and our people than we do. See you on the next one.